Hi Gemini, this is Chronic Joy Tarot, and this is going to be your October 2017 mid-month update for the Sun, Moon, and Rising signs of Gemini. This is a general reading, very general. If it doesn't connect with you, then it's understandable. It's not going to connect with everyone. You could check your Moon and Rising sign on my channel if you'd like. Or if you have specific concerns and questions, you can always contact me for a personal reading. At the bottom of this video, there's information on how to get a hold of me, and also in the About section of my channel. Okay, the Oracle card that we're pulling to give us guidance on the topic right now is Earth Magic deck. From the Earth Magic deck, excuse me. And the card I pulled for you, Gemini, is Childhood, the card of innocence. So innocence obviously doesn't always just mean the absence of guilt. It also means, you know, sort of a purity of an outlook, a purity of existence as we were when we were children. You know, we responded to situations intuitively and honestly. And as time goes on through our life, you know, we go through challenges, and they shape us. They shape our personality and our character. And, you know, with disappointments or loss, and as adults, we tend to sometimes turn a little more cynical, or go deeper into these challenges without just addressing them and moving on from them. They stay in our rearview mirror, and they sort of stay with us as baggage, as many of us are familiar with. But there's always that core, that spot within us that's connected to Source, that represents the spirit of innocence and, you know, light, the light that's within us, really. So let's see, Gemini, if we're going to take a journey toward that core, toward that center of light that we have. Yep. Your starting point here for this Zen, with the Zen Tarot cards, is the card Courage. This is exactly perfectly aligned with this childhood / innocence card. Perfectly aligned. This Courage card tells the story of a little seedling, a little seed that's wedged way down between those boulders. And for all it knows, it could just stay with its hard outer exterior, that hardened shell, sort of like what happens to some of our hearts as we grow. It starts out, you know, open and pliable, and then as time goes on, sometimes we tend to want to retreat and protect it, but it ends up with, you know, kind of a wall around it. And that's what this seed in this card represents, is a sort of a hard outer edge, but with you know, allowing water in to soften it, and allowing, you know, having that courage to reach for the sunlight, the seedling turns into this beautiful flower that really, when it was down there in the boulders wedged between the rocks, it had no idea that it was going to become this. So really, it's learning to soften that shell that's, you know, that protective layer that we've put in place around our hearts, and learning to open it up a little bit to the life that's right here, and to be able to embrace and absorb all that we are experiencing with that sort of an innocence, with a sense of innocence as well, a fresh, sort of fresh eyes. Openness really is the word that comes to mind. Internally, your first internal energy here that supports this return to your light is the Breakthrough card. Love it. So this is a third chakra. This is like where your connection, your self-empowerment resides. And internally within you, you know you're having some major shifts happening. They may not have maybe you haven't shared with others, or maybe even not sat with them long enough to really be in touch with them, but you are making shifts. You're breaking your old paradigms. You're learning to be more present, stay with your open heart from day to day. And that's it's a wonderful card there to have in that position. In your external world, people may have been seeing you as maybe a little bit unfocused in their eyes. It doesn't mean you're unfocused, but maybe they see you as not being cautious enough, not being attuned to, 4 or 5 steps down the line, what could come along, and what, trying to project and guess, ahead so that you're prepared. Maybe some people think you're, a little scattered and unprepared for things. But this guidance, because you know within you that you're on the right path, and you're shedding old habits and old layers that are going to serve you, this energy of the Fool here and being living just strictly from the moment and trusting in the flow of life, trusting in that energy that you're going to be fine, it, that's okay. It's okay if others see you and maybe even comment that you're just, you're not grounded or whatever, even though you are. The bottom 3 cards of your reading are all major arcanas, and they're power positions. You're in a really good place. You have yourself rooted, and even if it's just within you that you're making these changes and these shifts to have a more open heart and to live more strictly from the moment, these changes are coming, and you're allowing things to unfold as they do. It's a very strong position to be in. Internally in your head, you might still be dealing with a little bit of guilt, a little bit of, even if this state of living from moment to moment and trusting in the universe, even if that is kind of new, you might be feeling like, oh, maybe I should be like I used to be. Maybe I should be more worried and should be more cautious, and all those feelings. Or maybe you feel like you've let someone down by making your internal shifts, but that's just not the case. It's okay. Allow those feelings and those questions to come and go, okay? Because the answer. The answer is, you're taking a leap of faith in making these shifts within you and learning, and as time goes on, every time you learn that being open-hearted and being vulnerable is really okay. Every time you learn that and emphasize that in your own life, you're getting this rhythm more and more, and then your heart will stay open, and that light, that childlike light within you will be really the first thing everyone sees. And that's just living really with no fear, with no predetermined fear is really the word I'm trying to get at. That you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you can live in the fear of bad things could come and then just stay stuck, right? And that's just not the journey you're on right now, Gemini. You're really pulling it together. And yes, mind, body, intuition, heart, physical, spiritual, all of your parts are lining up in harmony, and it's really showing up in your external world, in your day-to-day life. It's really showing up. So even though there are those that are, oh, you're not how you used to be, you're not, maybe if there are some that are maybe looking at you that way, you're not how you used to be because you're not planning 14 steps ahead or whatever, they are also seeing a peacefulness about you and a balanced centeredness that you have as you go about your days. So this whole lower 3 cards here, this internal shift and breakthrough, and knowing that you're opening up your heart more and more every day and trusting that you're guided in the right direction, that foundation is bringing you along in just such a beautiful way. Okay, the last internal card here is new vision. So yeah, I mean, this whole process could be new to you, could be new to others, but I'm feeling that, you know, the more and more you that you secure this foundational energy here, you're actually, the more you secure that groundedness, the higher you'll elevate and the more you'll expand. And, you know, you're seeing things new in a new way. You're seeing things, and it's just a much easier place to be. And it really does all start with that open-heartedness of this original oracle card, the Innocence. It starts with that. It's remaining open. Everything most of our stress and our worry comes from the resistance against what is. Instead of just taking sort of a more of an observer position when things are happening around us, things that can be challenging and things that can be, you know, a little scary, trusting that, okay, well, that's what it is, and then finding a way to respond to that with love. This is the whole foundation of what you're learning now, Gemini, and it's beautiful. Yes, and you are the creator of your own experience, and this is showing up. This is another power, another third chakra card here. You are, as long as you stay connected to source and your sense of who you are, there's just no end. You're going to continue to build and grow and expand. And you're also going to be coming up, you're going to start having an awareness or a new perspective on everything that's possible ahead of you. And you're not going to lock your wishes and hopes onto only one scenario. You're going to expand your view, just like the eagle flies above the land and sees way more than anybody that's a land dweller. The eagle sees all of the possibilities, everything that's going on across the entire land. And this is where you're beginning to open up. This light that you're allowing in, and the softening and opening of your heart is really allowing you to see there's just nothing that's going to really stop you. Anything you want to achieve, you can with this open heart. A couple of things to work on internally, especially the mind that might slip in, but you don't have a lot of mind cards in this reading, just that one guilt card. Everything else is about emotion, action, and trust. And you're there. It's great. Okay, Gemini, I'm glad you visited me and spent time here, and I love you all, and I will be back to see you around the 1st of November. Okay, happy trails.